What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of That Scuffed Up, episode 6. We've already gone through 6 of these. Isn't that crazy? Here with my partner, Stephen Hayden, and myself, Justin Lee. How are you doing today, sir?
We're doing good. It's a bit of a weird week this week with an off week going on for the league, but it's been an exciting 2 weeks so far with a lot of different things going on in the league. So we got a lot of things to discuss today.
Absolutely. We had already 1 week of play we still need to talk about from a week ago. We just came back from the OC Wiffleball Golf Tournament. Your winner in last place, Team Team Hayden, Lee and Steven, yours truly, getting plus 15 out at the Mile Square golf course. Pretty good. Some parts we did best ball. But the exact same score as last year with your partner, isn't that right?
That is correct. We're better with ball players and golfers, that's for sure. We're all right, but we're inconsistent out there. So we had some good holes. We had a streak where like 5 or 6 straight holes we were hitting pars the whole time. And then there were some holes we kind of just fell apart. I know you had some struggles out there as we got going towards the end there, but I was able to save it with some good shots. And I mean, by save it, I mean not go above plus 20. So that's a good. It went a little better than I thought it would score wise. I wasn't expecting to win, but congrats to everyone. Congrats and thank you to everyone else that was out there.
Yeah, we had a bunch of different other groups of guys who are not affiliated with the league, mostly like Anthony's friends or colleagues and acquaintances. It was pretty fun to play with two of those people. It was interesting to play. I wish I had more warm up time, but by the time I woke up and was preparing to go to the driving range, Steven said, "I'm gonna be there in 30 minutes." So I said, "Oh fuck, all right." I will just get ready then. So I don't know if we warmed up at the driving range, maybe things could have been different, but it was just there to have fun. That's what we were there for. I'd say our short game was pretty good for the most part. For me, the long game was pretty bad. You had some really clutch irons. I think you might have impressed yourself a lot of the times with some of the hits that you made.
Yeah, I kind of start my irons are my strong point of the game. The driving was hit or miss. I still very much have the baseball slice to it. I can't quite get over that yet. But the putting is just where I struggle the most, and that's where you were able to step up and help us out.
Show us the arms, Show us the arms. Yeah, there you go.
I've had a little bit of time off after baseball season. They're not as big as they used to be.
Well, off season you can work out a little bit more, and it'll be good. Reports are saying that you demolished a golf ball. If anybody was watching the OC Wiffle story, you could see that picture of the demolished ball that Steven had. Pretty fantastic. That tells you how strong one man is when you put a club in his hands and destroys a golf ball 400 to the moon.
I wish.
Should I tell him the truth?
No.
Okay, Steven demolished this fucking ball, and this thing flew like a knuckleball in the air and just landed in front, not even 100 feet, and just I was like, oh my goodness, eyes wide open. That thing was absolutely crushed.
I had to use my mulligan there as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. You should have given it to us for free for demolishing the ball. That could have been the longest drive shot right there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Joe Reese, second time in a row, he's won the golf tournament under six under, which is PGA Tour numbers as far as I understand. Which I'm like, you're playing wiffle ball, you should be playing in the U.S. Open. My God, insane numbers. His partner was really good too. I'm sure that best ball maybe helped a little bit, but he's a very experienced golfer. I've seen him out in the range a little bit. That finite mustache that he's got. Really magnificent that he's got on his face. But let's talk about OC Wiffle Ball in particular. We got a lot of things to talk about. Last week we had the award winners announced after a moment of silence for Dylan Hoffman after his partner Alex passed away. So very somber moment there. A lot of players were there for the big moment. We had blue ribbons being, or purple ribbons, I'm sorry, we wearing at the games. But let's talk about the winners. These were some of our preliminary picks. We have MVP was True Hendrickson, of course. I believe that is his third MVP.
That was the second one. Let me just you kind of moved on a little quicker than I was ready for, but just as you were saying, just congratulations to Joey Reese and Brett Humphrey for going out there. I believe they had a -9 on the day, so congratulations to them.
Oh, never mind. Wow.
Yeah, they had a -9.
Just go play U.S. Open. Get out of here.
I didn't just congratulations to them. So, going back to what you were talking about here. Yeah, we had our award winners here this past week. We had we had seven different people winning awards, including the likes of True Hendrickson, who obviously was the MVP of the league. Congratulations to him. That's his second MVP award in the past 3 seasons. So congratulations to him as well as congratulations to all the other award winners out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Big numbers that he had on the season last year, both sides of the ball, batting and pitching. We talked about it in a previous podcast. Next guy, no other better person deserving of the award than Dylan Hoffman himself, winning the Cy Young Award. Well deserved for a pitcher of his caliber. We hope him to keep it up. And good luck to the Westcliff University, who is playing in the playoffs. They're currently in Arizona right now. Their team will be playing. He and his brother will be coaching. So good luck to them as they chase another title for their school, first time in their history. So it'll be interesting. But any thoughts about Dylan Hoffman winning the Cy Young Award?
I mean, it was very much deserved. Congrats to him. I believe he had a 2.63 ERA. It was either going to be him or True, but True won the MVP. So we had that going on there. So congratulations to Dylan. Was a very dominant pitcher throughout the whole year, through the regular season and even the playoffs. The playoffs, he only allowing 1 run in 12 innings of pitching. So it was a costly run he gave up in a 1-0 game. But other than that, he was immaculate. An extremely hard pitcher to hit. We didn't get any runs off him in the regular season when we played him, and neither did a lot of teams. I think we might have given up like 10 to 12 runs or somewhere around there. So congratulations to him. And also let's have hopefully Westcliff does well. They start their playoffs versus Antelope Valley, which is another college here in California. They started tomorrow at 12:30. They have I believe it's the best 2 out of 3 tournament in terms of this, and the winner of this will go to the championships games to face off against Embry-Riddle. So good luck to the Westcliff boys out there, and congratulations to Dylan Hoffman.
Yeah, absolutely. I forgot to mention Kyle Froome is also coaching, so he'll be part of that stuff as well. So good luck to them. Dylan Hoffman already off to a really good start this season. Sub 1 at a 0.38 ERA currently, 38 strikeouts and 16 innings pitched. So already off to another bid for Cy Young or MVP. Really good start for him and his squad. Joey Ponder has really stepped up to the plate this year. He's been lights out so far, opposite of what we thought the outcome would be for his position. There was even talks that they might have moved on from Joey Ponder, but obviously they didn't. It was a really good move to make so far. Next guy we moving on to, your very own, the Silver Slugger, Mr. Stephen Hayden. As you see, he's holding the Glass Award, the little mug that he's got. Big honors, obviously. Congratulations, my friend. 13 home runs on the year. Another big season for you. How are you feeling?
So this is the award that was handed out. Usually, we do something a little different. Let me go up in here and grab these right here. I have these right above me, actually. So in the past for some of these awards, this is my Hank Aaron Award from the spring 2022 year. We usually hand out these plaques, just like you see with the World Series trophy. But this year, Anthony decided to go with something a little different. He decided to give out custom OC wiffleball mugs. Hopefully, you guys can see the logo. If you guys don't remember these from the awards show,
Here, I got my participation trophy. See, it's smaller. It's smaller than me. You know. Anyway.
That's kind of hard. So yeah, these are the mugs we got. I'm very happy with myself. I was saying with the spring, I felt very confident in myself. I was one of those guys. I think I was in the MVP race. That was kind of one of my goals, was to try to be the best player in the league this year. And I proved to be one of the better, and I proved to be one of the better hitters in the league. And also pitching wise, I was doing pretty well as well. And it all led up to the most important award, which I will pull out again, our Spring World Series 2023 championship plaque. So this is the only plaque that got given out to the night. So I have my plaque and my mug here as well. So we got those two things going on. So those are the two awards that I was able to go home with this past week.
Yeah, big honors. I know you, as a player, strive for excellence, for sure. Every single year, you're always in contention, which is really awesome. My question for you is, what is the biggest goal moving forward? Because you've already been to the top. You've won a Hank Aaron. You've won Silver Slugger. Is your goal to win an MVP, or do you want to win more championships?
You know, as people say about LeBron James, you can go after both at the same time. That's my goal. If I really wanted to go after MVP, I would have to kind of tell Jordan you're not going to pitch as much. You're only going 2 innings max, and I would just be out there dominating each week. But you know what? I got to play the team game if I pitch 2 innings or 3 innings in the game and Jordan's dealing. That's the way we're going to go. If it cost me an MVP, then that's fine. I'm already off to a good start in hitting for this year. I'm leading the league in average so far. I'm hitting
6 I believe 7, yeah.
I believe I'm already I'm something along the lines of like 11 for 15 or 12 for 15, somewhere along those lines. So I'm off to a good start there. ERA is looking good. Couple drop balls that dropped for homers, but those can be fixed. But it's been a good start to this year, and I was happy to come home with the award last year when the league is starting to get at its toughest.
Yeah, I want to build off of how good of a season start to a season it has been. 10 hits out of 17 plate appearances according to this sheet. 8 singles, already 2 home runs in only 5 outs. That's a very small number compared to hits, so really good start.
Yeah. I've more than. I've also walked twice as well. I mean, I have a .706 on base percentage as well. It's been a good start. I mean, I'm funny enough. I don't even have the highest on base percentage on our team. Jordan Drescher is absolutely killing it at the plate right now. I just have a couple more hits, but he's got more homers than me. So Ella's Wiffles of OC so far. It's been the Steven and Jordan show. We combined for 18 of our 30 hits so far as a team. So it's been a good start for the two of us.
Yeah, Jordan is on pace to maybe surpass 20 home runs if he keeps his pace up in this season. So it will be interesting to see if he's able to keep that up.
He's also very close. I should note. He's about 3 home runs away from getting onto the 50 home run all-time list. So he's getting close to that mark, and right now he'll probably do it by the next game. So,
we should mention that you have hit the 50 home run career mark.
I can't remember if we did talk about it last time or not. I'm not totally sure, but it was week 1, the 7:30 game versus who was it? I have it on it's on the sheet here. It was against the Trash Pandas. Luckily I had Anthony recording, and I hit my 50th home run of my career. I was just 1 short from last year, so first home run this year was going to be the one. So
yeah, Very big achievement. Jordan will be there pretty soon. Both of you guys seasoned veterans in the league. So congratulations on that. And we'll be awaiting Jordan once he hits that mark as well. So we will have two big 50 number home run hitters in the league.
Yeah, even though his weren't all with the other Wolves of OC, we're still happy. We're still happy to have that record with us.
Yeah. As long as he's on our team and in our jersey, we're happy. Moving on, let's talk about Manager of the Year. This was my personal favorite to win this award. Nick Agrusa did a fantastic job managing that team. They just came back last week, and from a week off from the first week, they had a bye week.
Yep.
Really nice guy. Really putting together a good squad. They made it to the playoffs. Obviously, we beat them in that divisional game, but we loved his mentality. I enjoy his personality. Really chill dude. Doesn't take a step ahead of anybody else. He's there for the team. He's there for fun, and that's the values that we uphold for this league. And he embodies every single one of it. But what are your thoughts about Mr. Nick Agrusa?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great guy. He keeps the game loose. He doesn't take it too seriously, trying to get people angry. He's just out there to have a fun time, and his guys out there respond well to that. And they were a playoff team. They were a playoff team last year. They nearly beat the LA Wolves of OC in the wild card round. So the World Series last year could have looked a lot different. But especially they only had 3 people at that game. So he's done a great job with them. But I do have a little bit of a question for you. If people don't know, we were 2 of the people that voted for these awards, and if I remember right, you said he was your favorite for this, but you didn't vote for him, did you?
No, I didn't vote for him. I made kind of like a other award for him, which was the
expose him.
What was the award?
Expose him.
The equivalent award.
Yeah, Roberto Clemente, you mean?
Roberto Clemente. Yeah, so I put him up for the Roberto Clemente, which is obviously not an award in this league, but I was pitching it, the idea of it. I picked him for the favorite. Well, technically he was second favorite for Manager of the Year, but I wanted him to be Manager of the Year if we didn't come through with the Roberto Clemente award, because Roberto Clemente embodies, somebody who's for the community, plays with his heart and not just, putting in the work and playing all the time, playing at a high level, obviously, but caring for others. So that's kind of why I wanted to pitch that award, but he obviously we didn't come through with it. So the vote that I put for that one was Drake Hoffman, if you were wondering. So he was technically the favorite, but if I had to choose, I probably would put Nick Agrusa in that spot since we didn't put the Roberto Clemente award to fruition. So yeah, there you go. So
gotcha.
Nice try, bud.
Nah, we got you. We got you on video now. So moving on to the next one. We have a one guy winning 2 awards here actually. Actually, I take that back. I believe I was mistaken. We have the next up with just 1 award. We have the All-Star Game MVP. For those who don't know, this past spring, late in February, we went out to the beach. We had our All-Star Game and Home Run Derby. The first award that was given out that night was a player who unfortunately wasn't there. It was the All-Star Game MVP going out to PJ Gordon. Big player for the Diablos, helped lead them to a World Series, and in that All-Star Game, he was great for them. Had 3 innings, no runs allowed on the mound, and had a solo home run in the 4th inning to really get things started for the scoring, especially in a close 2-1 game. So, you have any problems with that pick, Justin?
No, I don't. He had a very clutch home run, kind of the most important home run in the game. Pitched his heart out like he always does. It is a shame that he's not in the league currently, since we interviewed him a week ago. Great guy overall. We're going to miss his talent. I'm sure he'll be back. We have that summer classic coming up, so we talked about him. He said he was probably interested in doing it. Maybe he'll come back for the fall season, but who knows? He was my favorite for Rookie of the Year. for that vote process, but I guess the rule is that we can't give rookie of the or awards to players who are not in the league. I believe. Um, I'm not sure is that if that's a true thing or not.
It could be a thing where you just don't want to give multiple awards to the same guy. So it's just I mean, and plus our rookie of the year, which we'll mention later, was a good player as well. So
Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
it's a mixture of multiple things.
Dylan did win the All Star MVP and then MVP the previous season, so I thought that was maybe an interesting other liner in there. But regardless, PJ Gordon is a very good player. We're gonna miss him. He's currently managing a team over at SoCal with.
Yep.
You know more about that than I do, but
Yeah, actually, I just got the schedule just before recording this. It looks like my team will be and his team are in the same division actually.
ooh,
So we'll be playing each other later in the season. So we get him being on a brand new team and me being on a team that finished last in terms of record, but made it had a little bit of a playoff run before getting stopped by just before the World Series. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Me versus PJ out there. That'll be fun.
yeah, absolutely. Should be interesting to see. I don't know if they make videos about that kind of thing, but if there is, keep us updated and maybe we'll check it out.
Yeah, during the broadcast as well, we'll talk more about once the SoCal football season gets going. We'll talk about more some of my stuff that starts more in June. So we got about a month until that starts.
Yeah, a long time away. We also let's talk about our home run derby champ. We talked about him way too many times already. Well, Mr. Shaden Hendrickson, home run derby champ, third year in a row, solid hitter. Would have put him. I believe we had him for Hank Aaron of the Year award, didn't we?
It was a possibility. He was up there for some other hitting awards as well. Finished the year with 18 home runs, tied for the league lead with the MVP Drew Hendrickson. The home run derby was a very exciting one. The wind was carrying a lot, so there are a lot of home runs hit, especially in the first rounds. He just made it out of the first round. The second round he dominated, and it was him and PJ going to the final. Shaden went first, hit I believe 14 home runs, and unfortunately, PJ was only able to get about 9, and Shaden was able to hold on and win his third straight home run derby. So, congratulations to him. I know you had some question marks going into whether what you kind of thought there was going to be another person winning that one, but he proved you wrong and show that in this type of event that he's very good at it. He's very good at just getting contact on the ball and putting it out of the park.
Yeah, he's a clinic out there. Like his swing is so smooth. Like he has a very planted position when he hits. It's just a fluid swing all the way. I picked other people to favorite because I wanted that streak to be broken because we've had it where they won 2 years in a row and it's been given to someone else. But he proved everyone wrong, proved me wrong, and called me out on it on a interview post home run derby. And here he is, top of the hill with the home run derby champ. He got tied this year with Drew Hendrickson in home run totals. But moving on, this is our honorable mention for All-American for last season. Rookie of the Year was Hayden Higger for the Avocabros. Any thoughts about Mr. Higger, my friend?
Yeah, congratulations to him. You never know how new guys are going to step in, but especially usually the guys with the baseball experience have a lot of success going into it. This is a guy who was swinging at the ball really well, playing good defense out there, and just getting on base a lot for his team. And the Avocabros, who were the second best batting average on the year. So congratulations to Hayden. Hopefully more continued success. Maybe he'll be a guy we see in that Silver Slugger or Hank Aaron Award, being a winner of those.
Yeah, absolutely. His brother is also an interesting prospect to talk about. Harvey Higger. He's already hitting a 4.38 average so far, already 2 home runs. Not as many home runs as his brother Hayden, but they're up there. That team, the Avocabros, hits pretty well. So A lot of interesting pieces to move around with the Avocado Bros. But congratulations to all the award winners for the 2023 spring season. It was a very successful season for a lot of people and for us as well, obviously. And we hope to see what other memories happen here in the next couple of weeks as we get through the rest of this season, and we will see who will be crowned or who will be recrowned as the champions of OC Wiffleball.
You could say it was a very successful season for us.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, especially for you. Let's give a little congratulations. Let's give a little shout out to Mr. Anthony. He's done a really good job running the league and taking a lot of stress out, running a lot of different things like the sports book, the fantasy league, the stats sheet, and everything. Working very hard on that. The website is updated now, so it doesn't say Wise Guys anymore from the previous season, and now it is officially the LA Wiffles OC. So that is big news for us. So
yeah, everything's updated on the website. You can go into the website. You can find the game history. You can find the scores from the past from the first 2 weeks. You can go find your season stats so far. That's how we're getting a lot of this information, is going through the website. Look at the stats here. And there you can also see on the main homepage. You can see it says Spring 2023 World Series champions. And there will be more stuff coming around, especially as we get closer to the next season or closer to our summer tournament. So that's gonna be a fun thing that we're gonna be getting to update the website and getting to do as a league. So maybe eventually there'll be a new All-American team put up on the website as well. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, we're always going to be talking about that stuff, covering every single thing that you see there.
Yep.
Now let's cover more current events, which starts with last week from week 2. Let's look at the current standings right now. So I'm going to count down from here. In first place, the MS Warriors with 4 wins, 0 losses, and a run differential of 42. Right behind them, not far behind, is the Purple Huskies with 4 wins, 0 losses, and a run differential of 51. Interesting. I feel like those could be reversed if you wanted to, but that's up for debate. Beach City Bop. Sorry.
You are cursing a lot today.
Sorry, didn't mean to say that. Beach City Bombers in third place currently with a 2-1 record and a run differential of 8+. The Avocabros at fourth with a 2-1 record with an even run differential, meaning they hit as many runs as they give up as many runs. Interesting spot. We were talking about this before the broadcast, but the LA Wolves of OC in the 5th spot behind the Avocabros. Besides this week 2 after the results of the game. Not sure what happened there, but 2-1 record with 16 run differential. 6th place, the Bad News Dingers with a 1-2 record and a run differential of +14. In 7th, Wiffle D's, one of the newer teams, with a 1-2 record, 5+ run differential. In 8th place, the Trash Pandas, getting their first victory, 1-2, with a run differential of +15. The Brothers of Bash, who we know very well, 0-1 run record, getting the first loss of their season last week with a -1 run differential. Whoosh with a 0-2 record with a -24 run differential. 11th place, Goat Hill Pitchers with a 0-2 record and -22 run differential. And in last place, Angel Hernandez's Strike Zone with a 0-3 record and a -49 run differential. Your thoughts about this standings currently, and if anything should be changed?
One thing I thought it was interesting was to keep the LA Wiffles of OC below the Avocabros. These two teams played each other this past week. The LA Wiffles of OC did win 7-1. I thought that was an interesting move, especially as the LA Wiffles of OC have tied for giving up the least amount of runs as well and have a better run differential. I thought that was an interesting one. The top two could be flip flopped. I think give seniority to the team that had the higher record last year. Big surprise so far has been the Beach City Bombers. Last year they finished. We had 13 teams last year, and they finished in last place. Actually, only winning one game. But with Tyler and his brother Zach out there pitching lights out, they've been very effective. Now going 2-1, including beating the reigning World Series champions in the first game of the year. And their teams at the bottom. It's still early in the season. They're trying to fit. You're just working on figuring it out. I feel like Whoosh is in a very tough spot right now. So far, they've played the top two teams in the league already. The first week they played the MS Warriors, and the second week they played the Purple Huskies. And that one they played without Donald, their captain. So I feel like they've been a little unlucky there so far with the scheduling. I think they'll have a lot easier schedule, and with the addition of former LA Wiffles of OC player Nick Ushoff, I think they're gonna have. I think they can have some success and can possibly sneak into the playoffs here. But other than that, I think it's pretty accurate. I think it's pretty accurate overall. It's still very early in the season. Anything can change. Two teams have already played 4 games, whereas one team's only played 1. It's just everything. Hopefully, will balance out by the end. So we'll see what happens as we continue on.
Yeah, it's a very big addition that they have Nick Ushoff, who was the former LA Wilson OC player. He was a big slugger hitter. He's already off to a pretty good start. 3 home runs, slugging a 1.556. OPS with a 2.222. Very big numbers already, and he's been a big part of that team so far. He's already leading that team in batting average with a 5.56. The Beach City Bombers, as we said, it's the two brothers, the Moore brothers, Tyler and Zach, who are pitching really good. They're evening out about 3.5 ERA with 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. They have a total of 25 strikeouts so far in a total of 15 innings combined. So they really stepped up to the plate this year. Not sure where they got their training from, but they have basically flipped the entire script around and have become a contender for the playoffs with that type of pitching. And the hitting has been on par as well for them. Yeah, a lot of interesting things. I'm sure you can flip-flop a lot of different stuff between the two teams in standings. There's a lot of different things, but it's still early. Obviously, anything can change between a lot of these teams who will probably figure it out faster than most others. I think Brothers of Bash will probably turn it around at some point. Who I should mention just added Nick Hedges, who was a former, or he was missed last season, returning once again. You know him very well.
Yeah, the 2-time World Series champion, won the World Series with the Trailer Park Boys in the spring and summer of 2022. It's a very big addition. It's good to see him back out there again. He was out there for 1 week in the spring, but actually there was some history where I played against him in high school baseball as well. But that's for a different day. But it's good to see him out there. I think he's a great addition, especially offensively and in the field for Brothers of Bash. I think that can help them a lot, but they just lost a very close game.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a tough spot because they've only got 4 players listed on their roster currently. I mean, sure, they might have some more guys at some point if they decide to add another addition to it, whether it's next week or whenever. So keep an eye out for them. They're still a playoff contender. It's hard to want to key them out of this, the power rankings overall. But let's talk about week 2. As we move on, we have to talk about the 6:30 slot, 7:30 slot, and the 8:30 slot. This is our segment called the Breakdown, where we review what happened in the past week or so. Starting off with the 6:30 slot, our first game of the day. Wow, a big total run in that game. 32 runs scored in total, with the new team Wiffle D's going big bombs, 22-10 against Angel Hernandez strike zone. Did you see anything from that game in particular?
Yeah, let me just back it up a little bit. We're gonna be on the future for the podcast. There's been some people requesting this. We're gonna be giving more quick updates on this part in terms of the scores and stuff. Just a quick little 5 to 10 minute rundown for each week, probably going out on Friday or so. Just a quick rundown, just so everyone can keep track of how they did and things like that. Just so it doesn't go just fly right by people, and just so our people are able to remember each thing from each week. So that's something we're looking to be doing with this as well. Not just, I know some people aren't the biggest fan of the longer form podcast that we've been doing, which they are great, but they're just a long sit through. So we totally understand it. If it's not your thing, we're going to start trying to have more of an avenue for both. For the people who don't want the longer stories and things like that, just for the people who want to know about the league. So that's something we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was talking. It'll depend whether we're able to get this out as fast as possible. Obviously, that's the goal. Is to get out the word about the scores and everything as fast as possible. But I think the idea is that we try to get this on either the OC Wiffleball story ASAP, or if we just post it on the channel. So keep an eye out for that. I'm sure we'll have more about that at some point. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm trying to work on getting a new intro for this podcast, so it's not bland all the way through. Here is my question for the audience: do you want me to have background music while we're talking, or do you not want background music while we're talking? But I'll leave that for the comments. You guys can answer the questions later. I think we'll be adding. I think for me, since I run the Hunky Dory Sports talk show Instagram, my idea was to start running a poll on the Instagram every week and try to get some ideas around, so or in some input, because I know some people have been asking Anthony in particular about how we should run certain things on the podcast show. So keep an eye out for that. We'll have more announcements about that, and Steven as well. He will be helping out for the most part, but without further ado, let's talk about the 6:30 time slot. So we started off with Wiffle D's with 22-10 against Angel Hernandez Strike Zone. Did you have any thoughts about that game in particular? Because I know you showed up pretty early.
Yeah, I'm there. Part of my job in the league is to help be there and set up early. So I'm there from 6 to 10. So I'm there. One of the guys. If you have any questions for Anthony or Anthony's not available, you can come to me as well. With this game Wiffle D's has had some early success as a new team. Losing the first week, they lost a close 8-3 game versus the number 2 seed Purple Huskies, actually. So they've been close in both they were close in their first game. It's a very good team. A couple highlights for Wiffle D's. We have Kevin Norman going for getting 6 hits in the game with 3 home runs and 3 singles. Eric Saldana hitting 2 homers, and also Alex Harris hitting for the cycle as well as an additional single as well. So it sounds like they have some great offense going for them, and also Chris Garza has had a very good start to this season as well, with a 5.63 average, getting with a 682 on base percentage as well. He's had a very good start, as well as Kevin Norman, who's had 5 homers on the year with a 615 on base percentage. So it sounds like they're clicking. The Angel Hernandez Strike Zone. They're working on it. They're working on figuring out the new rules and figuring out how to play. So far, a big player for them has been Brian Burns with a 417 average and a 500 on base percentage so far. He's had some success at the plate, but they just need to get some work on some pitching. For a team, they have a team ERA of 22 right now. So once they figure that out, I think they might have the offense to be successful. But it may take some time for them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still a lot of time in the season for them to adjust to things. Both of these teams being new. Obviously, Wiffle D's has had better success so far. Some adjustments probably being made for both sides. The next game was Whoosh and Purple Huskies. We talked about it before, Whoosh being in these interesting positions early on in the season, playing like the top teams. So they got walloped 5-28 to the Purple Huskies.
Yeah.
Interesting game, but your thoughts about that one?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of the same thing with the spring 2023 season. Right out of the gates, they had to go face the LA Whiffles of OC, who at that point they had just picked up Jordan Drexler and were on their way to winning a World Series. So now they've already played the MS Warriors and the Purple Huskies, the top two teams, both the only undefeated teams left right now. So a bit of a tough start for them. But the Purple Huskies can continue with their three-man pitching and continue to be great. Drake Hoffman with 3 more home runs on the day. Hayden with 2 home runs. True Hendrickson with 3 home runs, I should say, as well as 3 walks and a single. Nigel Ward doing good work with them, getting 3 singles, a home run, and a double, as well as just a triple away from the cycle. So they've been great so far, and it looks like either them or the MS Warriors are the team to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the off start of the purple pitcher or plastic pitches, they're really good. There's a super team out there if you want to argue that. They're going to be the 2 teams to beat, the MS Warriors and the Purple Huskies. So interesting to see who's going to take them down. Obviously, LA Wolves have not played them yet, so that has yet to be seen.
It'll be interesting with once Hayden leaves, how the team will be affected, and you'll probably go more to Drake and True pitching on the mound. But I wonder if they'll be missing that offensive piece. If that'll hurt them, that'll be interesting to see as the year goes on, because I don't believe he'll be around for the full season.
Oh, okay. So that's an interesting development. Did not know that. So another thing to take note of. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye out on.
Yes, absolutely. So next game we got brothers. We got possibly the best game of the week. Was Brothers of Bash versus Trash Pandas. Trash Pandas hitting a walk-off home run to get their first win. A lot of former college hitters on that college players on that team, including a couple of guys from the school I went to, Irvine Valley College. They can hit the ball, and they were getting the pitch. They were starting to get the pitching down for this week, doing some good stuff. Michael Hascup hitting 3 home runs in that game, and Blake Fitzgerald hitting 2 home runs in that game as well. They started to find the bats. It was the first game for Brothers of Bash. Pitching wise, they went against a very hard team to hit. To pitch against, I should say. They're going to take a lot of good swings, and the Trash Pandas in their first game they scored 19 runs. Then they played the defending champions LA Whiffles of OC, and they were able to get 5 runs off of them. But the second one wasn't a close game. But congratulations to them on getting their first win. The past couple seasons we haven't had any teams not to win a game, so hopefully at some point every team does win a game. But the Brothers of Bash, I wouldn't be too discouraged about how they did either. And I know they had some good success at the plate as well, including Nick Agrusa in his return hitting 3 home runs after winning the Manager of the Year. So I think that was a very good game, possibly the best game we saw this week. And overall, I think both teams could be they could be battling for that last playoff spot once we come down into June.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be up there. Trash Pandas have a lot of things to develop. Their batting is really good. They have big muscles on those arms. Like, jeez. It's like crazy. The Brothers of Bash will obviously always be good, especially now they've got Nick Hedges, who will try to take back the mantle, or the crown, I should say. So it'll be interesting to see both of those teams, because both those teams will be interesting. I mean, there's a lot of teams we can talk about all day of, how interesting they're going to be, down the road and everything. We have the established teams, obviously. We have new teams, but it's always interesting to see the new team that has baseball experience, and then halfway through the season they just figure it out, and then they just go on a run. So you gotta watch out for them, because they could be dangerous. I'm sure they're dangerous. You probably know, for a matter of fact.
I mean, Brothers of Bash playing them last year twice in a row. They were a tough team to play against. Trash Pandas. They had a couple of nice hits off of me. I only gave up like 3 hits. One of them was a home run that was dropped, but I mean they were still getting the bat on the ball and getting some other singles and stuff as well. Especially if you get they started getting a little frustrated. And they were asking me some pitches, like how I grip some pitches, which I'll give a little spoiler. There may be a for the league, there may be a pitching tutorial with a couple of our pitchers coming out in a little bit. So stay tuned for that if you want to learn some new pitches. But they can have some success if they figure out the pitching. The Trash Pandas.
Yeah, and I'm sure they can probably look up any videos. There's a lot of them online. MLW especially has a lot of ones where you can learn how to throw some pitches. So,
okay, now,
am I cutting out?
There are a couple points you were cutting out there. I was like, what do you say?
Oh, okay.
It's probably good, but I just couldn't hear you.
All right, you're good. My end is okay so far. Well, speaking of close games, as we move to the 7:30 time slot, we have the Avocabros and Wiffle D's, the other new team, and Avocabros took the dub with very small margin, but they had to go back and forth a ton of times in a big game, 16-14, a lot of runs scored in that game as well, a total of 30 runs.
Yeah, I know. I believe I saw the Avocabros got a go-ahead home run in the bottom of either the top of the sixth or the bottom of the fifth inning. To go ahead, Kevin Norman for the Wiffle D's continue with this great day, hitting 2 more home runs, leading his total to 5 homers on the day, as well as 2 more singles in that game. And Ryan Luke had 2 singles and a home run as well for Wiffle D's. But go back to the Avocabros. I mean, every single person on their team hit at least 1 home run. Hayden Hager hitting 2 home runs, which Hayden Hager is having a great start to the season so far, building right off of his Rookie of the Year campaign. He's only got 6 hits this year, but all 6 of them have been for home runs. Actually, he's got a 500 on base percentage as well, so he's had a good start. He had 2 homers in this one. Harvey Hager had a home run and a triple. Lucas Sardo with 2 singles, a double, and a homer in this game. Dan Lukac, 2 singles, a triple, and a homer, and then Nick Fautras, I believe that's how you say, with a home run as well. So Avocabros were battling. They're a team that's going to score a lot of runs, but they'll give up a lot of runs as well. They were able to battle and hold on to that lead. And probably the second best game out there this week.
Yeah, as we said before in the podcast, the Avocabros have a run differential of even Steven. Hey, Steven. Where they have scored the same amount of runs as they give up the amount of runs. So it'll be interesting what kind of adjustments they'll make later down the road, because obviously the pitching has not been there, but the bats have been. Very important pieces, Nick Sardo and Hayden Hager. But moving on, we have our super team, the Purple Huskies, versus the Beach City Bombers. And the Purple Huskies coming away with an 8-3 win against the Beach City Bombers, who have been the surprise of this season. But your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, Purple Huskies were able to get the bats going. They have a very loaded lineup. I believe they only had 4 this time, so they were they were running out there with a True Hendrickson, a Shaden Hendrickson, a Drake Hoffman, and a Nigel Ward. And when you when you have those 4 on a team, you just constantly face them. It's very hard to do very well as an opposing pitcher and things like that. So I think Beach City Bombers did well to hold on with them. But I mean, the Purple Huskies were able to do pretty well, and all of them having great days in this game as well. So I think it looks like nearly every guy had a home run or multiple home runs on the day. So they look, like I said, they look like a team that's possibly going to be one. I think it could possibly come down to a team like the LA Wolves of OC, the MS Warriors, and them for the first 2 seeds. That would be big to get that bye.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting that bye, 1 game break is important in the playoffs if you want your guys to be well rested. But some people could argue that once you have a momentum, your chances of getting to the World Series game or winning division games will be easier.
Yeah, especially if you're as we've seen, especially if you're the 1 seed. One seed's never won the World Series in this league. It's a bit of a curse. So, and especially a team like the other Wiffleball C, they were the 4 seed when they won the World Series last year. So
yeah, so it could be the question: does the Purple Huskies or the MS Warriors continue to go on the way that they're going? Or, I mean, I'm sure they will, obviously, and it just depends on whether they're able to hold on to that 1 seed. But who knows? Who knows? Anything can change.
yep.
The game after was the Angel Hernandez Strike Zone versus the MS Warriors. That one was also kind of a wallop, but 1-17. MS Warriors taking the dub.
Yeah, Angel Hand in the strike zone, as we mentioned, they're working on some stuff. They're figuring out the rules and stuff. But the MS Warriors, they went out there and showed the team that they are. Dylan Hoffman with 3 homers, 2 singles, and 2 doubles in the game. Garrett Munoz with a home run. Joey Ponder with 2 singles and 3 homers in the game as well. Joey Ponder stepped up to the second pitcher role, but Dylan Hoffman's been lights out on the mound. I believe in this game it looks like he gave up. He's had the first run against him actually. So 16 innings, 1 run so far, and it came against them. So Angel Hernandez Strike Zone can hang their head on that.
Yeah, they didn't get shut out by the MS Warriors. It was a big deal for them as they play through the rest of the season and figure it out. But let's move on to our 8:30 time slot, the last time slot of the day, with the Bad News Dingers losing 2-13 to the Beach City Bombers. So Beach City Bombers flipping it around and getting the W since after their loss against the Purple Huskies and beating Anthony Aguirre's team 13-2.
Yeah, absolutely. Their pitching really came out, and they did well in that game. With Tyler Moore and Zach Moore each having a home run at the plate, doing good things out there. Doing good things out there for the team. Just overall, it's going to take some time for people to try to figure out. Guys like Tyler Moore and Zach Moore. So far, it was only really been the Purple Huskies had a little bit of success against them, only scoring 8 runs though. And a guy like Stephen Hayden, he had 3. He went 3 for 4 against them. It's going to take some time for people to get used to the mixture of the drop ball and the riser that these guys have. But for now, they're just going to continue to do their thing and do well. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to continue this up for the whole season, because right now they're the number 3 seed, and I don't have much argument with that.
Yeah, I mean their team is made up of a bunch of different free agent rookies, so they picked up a lot of different guys from other teams, not other teams, but newer guys as well. Luke Beeler's one of those guys. Josh Hammers, Ryder Johnson, Will Cantrell. They're all big pieces of that, and then obviously the Moore brothers have been playing lights out. Of course, they are basically doing a big bulk of the runs for the team. 8 home runs total. There's some others split around those guys, but if those guys figure it out on the batting side, they may be extremely dangerous on offense. And if Moore, all you really need in this league is 2 really good pitchers. For the most part, if you have 2 really good pitchers, you have really good chances of making the playoffs. And if they figure it out on the batting side, they're going to be absolutely dangerous.
Yeah, to just be one of those other teammates going to step up. We saw in the playoffs, the Wiffleball C who won the World Series. They had Steven and Jordan pitching lights out, but they needed contributions from the rest of the team offensively. They just needed a specific hit here or there just to get some runs across the board. I can think back to the Dominic Caroni home run in Game 2 in the first inning to get us started. And other instances like that where people stepped up. It's one of those, are they going to be able to get that to happen from them? So that'll be interesting to see as we continue on. But so far, so good for them.
Yeah, it's a matter of your support players. Dominic Caroni was the biggest surprise last season for the LA Wiffles OC. He was really good with the bat. Obviously, their other player who you did good a season ago. Obviously, not the same numbers, but good home run slugging. But for this season, not off to a great start, but I'm sure we'll get out of that slump at some point. And then, it's always about, how well your support players, if you have a good, pitching staff behind you to pick up the pace, obviously there is a need for a third pitcher sometimes when those situations do arise. So, it'll be interesting to see how the Beach City Bombers respond with those other guys on that team.
Yep.
So moving on, the second game of the 8:30 slot is the MS Warriors beating the Goat Hill Pitchers 19-0 in a big shutout game. They get their second win of the day and continue their win streak of 4.
Yeah, they showed their dominance. They were able to keep Anthony off the base pass. Dylan Hoffman having 6 hits, 5 singles, and a triple in the game. Kyle Froome with 7 singles in the game, which is very, very hard to do. Usually, it's just to be consistent, getting 7 singles. Garrett Munoz hitting 2 home runs and 2 singles. Joey Ponder also in this game hitting for the cycle, as well as an extra home run and an extra single. Offensively, they were bringing it. They had it there. The big surprise has so far been the struggle of Anthony Agrusa has not been hot from the plate so far, and neither is Matt Hornich. We talked about in a previous podcast about how they're one of the best duos in the league, but so far that hasn't really been much of the case. Combined, they've only had 4 hits so far in their first 2 games. No home runs either. All of their hits have been singles. The on-base percentage isn't quite there. Trevor Bushy's having a good year so far for the Goat Hill pitchers, with a 4.44 average and a 6.15 on-base percentage. But they'll need their big two, Anthony and Matt, to be there if they want to be able to make the playoffs. Especially Anthony pitching. They'll need him on the mound if they want to have a chance to make the playoffs. But which I think he totally can. But it's one of those. They also just got stuck against a good team. I believe they lost their first game last week as well to the Bad News Dingers 5-2. That was a tough loss to face. But it's one of those. Are they going to be able to bounce back and get hot at the right time? That's one of those. You gotta wait and see.
Am I just missing something here? I can't seem to find. Oh no, there they are. I apologize. I found it. So yeah, I mean, it's been rough for them. You could argue there's been one really good player who has proven me wrong, because obviously I guess they've watched the podcast. Lauren Caruso having a pretty good season, has the second highest OPS. The slugging's up there. Batting average of 3.33. So stepping up and taking it into her own hands on that team. Interesting circumstances.
Also has the lowest ERA on the team with a so far 4 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, allowed 3 runs, and has a 4.5 ERA so far for the year. So far the best on the team. So
yeah, so interesting. So congratulations, thank you for proving me wrong. Even though that's not what I wanted to input, but here we are. Lauren Caruso doing a really good job. I had a chance to talk to her the other day. She's a very nice individual. So. She is playing very well, knows where she stands, and who knows, maybe that's a test for Anthony and Matt to maybe step it up a little bit in their game and see what happens with the rest of the season. But anyways, moving down the docket, we have the final game of the day, which is yours truly versus the Avocabros. A different flip from a season ago. With the close game between the Avocabros, they were very tough in that game. But this time, things were different. LA Wiffles OC coming out on top 7-1 with big home runs from Jordan Drexler, Stephen Hayden, and we had 1 home run from Justin. And LA Wiffles OC improved to a 2-1 record. Okay.
Yeah. It didn't seem like a big offensive day for the LA Wiffles OC, but especially their top 2 hitters, Stephen Hayden and Jordan Drexler, they both had big days. Stephen continuing his Silver Slugger pace already, having hitting Is at 10 for 15 so far with a 667 average and a .706 on base percentage. But sneakily coming up there is a guy like Jordan Drexler, who in this game went 4 for 4 with 2 singles and 2 home runs, getting two RBIs on the day, which Steven not having a single and a home run. Even after getting nailed by a pitch in the head, next pitch he goes up and hits a home run. Justin Lee with a home run as well. Austin Cutter getting his first hit on the year. Overall, we were getting some timely hits, and we didn't have a specific inning where we scored a bunch of runs, but we just had a lot of innings where we got. Well, I think maybe we had like 1 or 2 innings we didn't score, but it was a lot of just 1 or 2 run innings for us, just consistently scoring runs, getting runners on, which is kind of the way you want to play, and eventually you'll break through. But it's tough to do against a team like the Avocabros. And also with the Avocabros, very similar to last year when these two faced off against each other. Just a solo home run for the Avocabros was their only run from that home run coming from Lucas Sardo in the second inning. Fair enough. He hit a very inside pitch and was able to take it for a home run. I can't do anything about that. But Jordan Drexler shutting it down on them, and Stephen Hayden shutting it down on the mound, only allowing 1 run. Only allowing a couple hits, and I think it might have been a two-hitter that they threw. So they're looking good. And Jordan Drexler in his 3 innings gave up 0 hits, if I remember correctly. So the other Wolves are off to a good start after their blip in the first game of the year. But we're going to find out if that was more just people. Them just having a little World Series hangover. I mean, only one guy on their team had a hit in that very first game versus the Beach City Bombers, or whether it was just the Beach City Bombers are better than people thought. So it was a good game. It was a good game to watch and good game to play in. Over LOC, so far, I think they're right in there. They have some tough matchups versus the MS Warriors and the Purple Huskies that'll come up later in the season. But I think they're very capable of winning those games, especially with what we saw with their resilience and the way they play, the way they can play. They can shut. I believe they can shut out any team at any point. So it'll be interesting to see once they're able to do that.
Yeah, it's a long road down the season for the summer 2023. We have a lot of different events coming up, and we have a lot of things to talk about. I think for the next episode, we may get an interviewee, or we might just interview you, Mr. Steven. Get your story behind all the nitty gritty.
Yeah, we could always do an interview with one of us, where we're talking about how we found the league, both being board members in here. We could talk about ourselves. Well, that'll be something we determine for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. We just passed the 1 hour mark for this broadcast. But let us know what you viewers out there think about the podcast so far. We've already had 6 episodes, so a lot of sample to go on. What kind of adjustments you want us to make? We'd love to hear your feedback. Go follow the Honky Dork Sports Show Instagram to see the polls, or send us a message or put a comment on this video. Is there anything you'd like to talk about, Steven, before we decide to close up?
No, I think we've just about covered it all. There's some other big wiffleball leagues that are starting up this coming week, including likes of MLW, which we can talk about more in the future. There's things like the AWA is starting up very soon. As we mentioned earlier, SoCal Wiffleball is going to be starting up in about a month or so. It's starting up where teams are going to be playing, and Dustin's going to be putting those videos out as well. So that'll be we're getting to the summertime. There's some tournaments and stuff going on as well, including our tournament, which will be later in August. There'll be some exciting times coming to the league, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I think our next big plan for the show is to have a live show out at the field, or maybe during that summer tournament. So we'll keep you guys updated about news about that, whether that's going to happen at some point or not. Depends on different circumstances, obviously. We have to talk to the commissioner whether he approves it or not. MLW starts on Friday. I mean, I guess I would like to ask you, like, you're a big follower of the MLW league. You know the stories and everything like that. Is there anything that our viewers should know about, MLW?
MLW, it's also known as Major League Wiffleball. It's a wiffleball league. A lot of guys who are just recently out of college going to as young as 14 years old. It's in that 14 to 25-year-old range is who's playing. It's a little faster pitch league with fences and base running and stuff. It's the most popular. It's the most watched YouTube, wiffleball channel in the world on YouTube and things like that. It's good. I think it's going to be a very exciting season for them. I'm sure they have a lot of things planned, which I have no idea about, obviously, because I'm not involved in the league at all. But I've been a big fan of that league since about 2017, 2018. Do we want to talk about the thing here or no?
We can talk about it. We were talking a little bit before the broadcast, and you were part of a video. So tell us how you got a part of that.
Yeah, so it's one of those. It's one of those very big technicalities where it's like it's like the bare minimum I could be in. You could be in a video. During the 2019 season was my first full season watching the league. I follow the Instagram closely and things like that, and they were doing their playoff preview show. They went to Instagram to ask for questions to have in the show. I put possibly the most generic question in there. It's like, who's most likely to have an upset in the playoffs? And they ended up using my question, putting my Instagram username and stuff in the video, which hopefully Justin will have in the edit. He'll be putting up a screenshot of the part of the video in which I'm in it. You can clearly see it's my Instagram and clearly see that it's me. I'm taking a selfie in a suit actually. I was taking a picture of me in a suit right before a concert, and that was my profile pic for a while. So, I am technically in an MLW vid. It's as literally as you want to take it. That's up to you. But I can technically say I was in an MLW vid, and they've gotten very big over the past couple of years, and I think they have a very exciting season lined up. That'd be a dream to play out there some point, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Big implications for a man like you. I know you followed it a lot. I mean, I'm sure you have interest of trying to maybe be a part of that league someday. But we'll get to see. So, someday maybe we might see you on the, on that podcast show that they've got over at MLW. But it'll be interesting. But next week,
maybe we could talk to some of your guys, possibly get something going over here, or go to one of their. They've had some tournaments in the past in Arizona, and I know they've been looking to go out more west, as they had their World Series at the SoFi Stadium actually last year. I think that could be something we could possibly work for, because I think this year in SoCal Wiffball is going to be a test for me to see if I'd be able to possibly make that jump. And it's a lot. It'll be a lot of travel. I'll be going to Michigan, and I may be away from here, so that'll be interesting to see. But it would be a dream of mine to be able to go over there. It's one of those you just gotta keep playing, keep getting better, and see if you have the time. So we'll see. We'll see what happens for the future. I hope there's a possibility, but we'll see.
Yep. It'll be big for the OC football, because you're representing the league still, obviously. But it'll be big to see you play out there at some point, if that is going to happen. But they had their draft recently. They're setting up for their first game of the year. The video is going to be out on Friday. So keep an eye out for that. I think for us, as guys who represent the league, doing the video podcast show, we could do vlogs in the future of stuff like that. SoCal does videos on that kind of stuff. We could potentially do stuff like that at some point. So, but keep an eye out. Anything can change, and we'll see what happens. But
there's been some talk about some video stuff and things like that as well for the league. That may be something coming in for the future. especially getting live streams of the World Series or playoffs or things like that. Those are things you can be looking forward to, looking for another way to spread the word of the league, to be able to get more members and things like that. So that's something to hopefully be looking forward to.
Yeah, for sure. LA Whistle OC could potentially split after this season and make two different teams. Anything can happen, so it'll be nice to see what the league holds for the future. But you have any last minute thoughts before we ultimately close down episode 6?
No, I think we've covered just about all there is. Enjoy the week off that you guys have this week, and come out ready, because at this point we're going to be playing pretty much every single week, including a potential beach series with some teams possibly going out there, and also with the All-Star game coming up eventually. Just in terms of the schedule, which will be on a weekend, I believe. It looks like the Sunday, June 18th. That'll be on. So, but other than that, we got wiffleball all the way through until the first or second week of July. So,
yeah, good luck to every single team. We'll be excited to see every single team out there and see what happens through the rest of the year. But a lot of wiffleball to keep going through, and we'll see everybody next week. This has been Justin Lee and Stephen Hayden for the That Scuffed Up episode 6. That is a wrap on today. Make sure you guys go follow the official Hunky Dory Sports YouTube, or go follow Orange County Wiffleball's Instagram and the Hunky Dory Sports Instagram as well for new updates. We'll keep rolling these out as long as we can, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.